Hey, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Ha. Right, this is the Chunel update was a failure because the backup, my original phone, the backup phone that got broken, and I got it fixed at Christmas. A new screen. I've realised kind of what's wrong with it. There's a bit at the bottom of this phone. Hey, welcome to the channel. That if you touch it, it changes. It activates the phone, so that's what happened whilst I was in the middle of the update. I touched the bottom of it. It's fucked, really, I suppose. I mean, if I take it back to who fixed it, they're just gonna. What are they gonna do? You know. So here's the fire is going. So we're gonna. This is the Chunel update. What should have been. So we're getting through the. Not using the fire as much now. Obviously, don't need to. Just put it on to take the chill off the. Take the chill off the air. So I was actually looking at this one. So somebody was complaining about the video.
Marks all over it. Yes. The wacky races indicating.
So I better explain to this moron exactly why. It's actually annoying because this is quite an ignorant comment. Shorts are compressed, making them narrower. Do you understand? It's to make them fit. As far as I understand, shorts are small. If it's it's a way of explaining it. They are so this guy's actually being thick because he doesn't do YouTube. He's not. So it's AB. So it's a moron. He's got nothing, no experience. Just a gobbing off. This is the type of person who just opens their gob and doesn't put any effort into anything. So it's short. There's another short there. This is short, right? This one, right? So like if you could, I'm not an expert in photography or anything or all this digital stuff, but it's like trying to get 20 people in a car. You'd have to squeeze them in.
Wow, look at that. What's going on here?
So it's a wide. So the whole picture would come out to there, But so for it to be a short, it has to be compressed. So that's the mid. It's the centre of the shot. That's the centre of it, which is a problem with shorts. When you're putting shorts on, that you're not going to get a wide angle view. So it's the analogy is it's to make it's like making sure that everybody fits into the room. So there's only 20 people allowed in rather than 50. No, that's not a very good analogy. They're not squashed. It's just that the edges are cut off them. That's what it is. So you wouldn't. In actual fact, I did. I mean, the real answer to this is to. The real answer to this is to put the actual main video on for this guy, which that is what the professional answer is. So we've got videos here, so I need to try and find it. That was when was that? That was last week. That's what I need to do. I need to copy the link. I mean, I have to try and be. I think it was at that one. No, was it that one? I think it was that one. Yeah, it was that one. See, so there's that's the video the short came from, right? So we'll find it.
Welcome to the channel! That's a DS7. Do you want to compare the DS7?
So that's where it came from. Right? So that's the actual video. And you get down to the roundabout.
I think we'll punish ourselves and go through Cowie. But whatever way, we could go straight on and go through Fallin. Obviously it's a bit counterintuitive. So we'll take a right down here. Indicating to the right. Indicating, and we've got a Ford Transit.
See, there's it there. See,
there's a bit of
so
cleaning
because it's this is their video, and just copy. That is the short that you're looking at, which is the. I suppose I'm saying, do you understand? Because I hate it when people they're being clever, but they don't, and they're just going to move on. You know, like they're trying to be smart arse, but they've no learned nothing. Link to main video to help you understand. Right, well, so somebody trying to be a smart arse, right? But they're just being stupid. You know, it's annoying, isn't it? It's like you're just a moron, and you're so thick, but you think you're being clever, but you're not. So, so actually, click on there. Whereabouts was it? It was something about 5'11", 5'9". 5. Why the fuck does it do this? I don't think it does this. 5'09". It's not supposed to be in capitals. Save. That was awkward. Where did? So that's why you don't always see everything with a short, you know. They're really supposed to be that way as well. Shorts, they're supposed to be put done in portrait. Well, I should really explain. This is getting. And so it's supposed to be in portrait. You know that when you film for a short, you should do it in portrait, not landscape. Uh, Why am I explaining this to this fucking arsehole? Why? Why am I explaining this? It's like, that's the trouble. I should just say, look, fuck off, you know. But I'm being professional. Right. So this one was a bit of a tricky one. Now, last night there was a video I did. It was funny. It was over a year ago. It just shows you how time flies, you know, and how many videos I've been doing and when I started doing them. So I drove around Fallin, a look around Fallin, Stirlingshire. Now, to people that live here, it's probably normal, but to people that don't live here, it's very, it's. See, even explaining this is odd, but it's unusual to see British flags everywhere. It's not something you'd see really, say, Aberdeenshire where I lived, or you know you just don't see that in England or Wales. Well, obviously you don't see it in Wales. Well, why not? Why don't you see it in Wales? You know what I mean? That's the question. You don't see it in England. You don't see it in Scotland, other than Central Scotland. You see it in Central Scotland, and it's maybe one of these things where areas you shouldn't even get into because it's potentially difficult. Personally, I like the British flags. I mean, I quite like that idea of having the flag of where you're from, but probably wouldn't do it myself, for example. So it's like, well, why wouldn't you? Well, because it kind of puts out, you're actually making a statement, you know, and maybe I'm not that wanting to make that statement. That's the truth. You've got to really get down to the truth. What is the truth? You know, why you not got a British flag? You know, well, you know, I quite like the idea of it. Yeah, putting a British flag up the back of my house. But I probably wouldn't do that. You know. Well, for example, if I did where I live, it'd be the only one in the street that I live in, for example, right? So it's a very difficult subject, and to get down to it, the truth, right? You're going to upset people. That's what happens when you try to get to the truth of anything. And this guy made this comment, and I started writing out an answer. Then I thought, no, you back off from that. So, because I mean, I can give a hint at what the answer is. The answer is humanity is moving along, right? And things change. So Fallin is an excellent example of that. So it's a village in Stirlingshire. It's a mining community. You know, so back to why there's so many British flags. The miners. This doesn't mean to say all miners were, were Protestant. It doesn't mean that at all. Some of them were Catholics, right? So the the main thrust of the place, I would say, would be from Protestant side, and it would have been the people that run the mine, the managers, and all these types, and there would be the workers, and there'll be some kind of hierarchy. There always is in humanity. There's also hierarchy. So what's happened, and in my own story, in my life, although I haven't really mentioned it that much, is that my family come from Stirling. My grandfather was in the railways, and so was his brothers, and so the railways was connected to, obviously, railways, mining. That's how you get the coal transported. Industry, engineering, all that stuff. For the most part, men did that. So that's from my dad's side. So from Stirling, and I don't know the ins and outs at all. I'd imagine I don't know where he went in the train. You can have the romantic view or the real reality of what life was like. You can imagine him going up the Highlands or something in some steam train, beautiful scenery and everything. Or maybe he was going down to the pit and Fallin with his train. Because there's pits all over the place, and there was mines everywhere. If you really get into that, actually, there'll be mine shafts all over the place around about this area. So basically, it's a tricky subject. So this guy said, what he said was wrong, actually. But I couldn't really come down on him like a ton of bricks, because it was nice he was contributing. And so I admit, I failed to explain to American audience what it means to be British. So, I mean, at that time I must have been thinking about Americans. I must have had Americans commenting or something at that time. That was over a year ago. So see what he said is, some of what you're saying is not true. So here in Fallin, I should know I was born and raised here, and it's nothing to do with faith. It's a sense of community and family in Fallin. So I can tell this guy here, John Clarkson, I think that's fundamentally wrong what he said. To say that Protestantism is nothing to do with faith is fundamentally incorrect. It's everything to do with faith. Or as a Catholic Church, that's like saying the Catholic Church has nothing to do with faith. Of course it is. It might be. So what he's actually alluding to is his own. He maybe doesn't believe in God or believe in that stuff, but he's talking about community. He's talking about community cohesion and values and that sense of community. And I have lost myself personally. I have lost that, and that's what I'm trying to get at, right? So, I'm sort of getting at my past, which were in these communities, and now isn't. And the reason it isn't is because things move on, and it's to do it without offending anyone. And if you watch this, I don't actually come across. I do come across fairly. Try not to be too offensive, or cheeky to upset anyone. I do say that I don't really know exactly what I'm talking about, but I'm talking about. So if you say my lot didn't come from Fallin, but actually my mum's side come from just outside Plain, but never mind. My dad's side from Stirling, and a lot of them came from the Raploch. Not my grandfather, but his brother lived in the Raploch. And so that's a very similar community. So what happened is we sort of there's opportunities happened in the 70s and 80s and 90s. My dad took them. Simple as that. And and like that cousin I just fell out with, the one down south. They're from Stirling as well. He's made money down south. You know, in whatever it is he got into. And my brother made money in Australia. And my uncle made money in Canada. You know, so we didn't actually come from Fallin, but the analogy is the same, right? We came from Stirling area, and you know, so you could stay in Fallin, right? And the mine shut and everything. See, the whole thing about the mine was terrible what happened, but at the end of the day, you know, Margaret Thatcher shut down. The Labour government did as well. The Thatcher used the police against the workforce, you know, in throughout north of England and Scotland.
You know, everybody having what they need. I suppose I'm kind of talking a wee bit like this sort of socialist sort of thing, but that's the whole thing about climbing out of things, is that you will eventually climb out of it. You know?
When I say you know, that means I'm not totally confident in what I'm saying.
And you can't climb back either.
You can't climb back. It means you can't go back to that community, really. Or what you could, but it won't be the same as what it was. So I'm really talking about social changes.
Being at one with yourself and everything is the best way to be. You know?
So what I'm saying is,
like money and everything,
to be middle class and to have money, which is the demographic that most of my cousins and, you know, who came from Stirling, who came from places like this, have elevated themselves to somewhere else. And that was that thing they said about getting on your bike. Remember that Tebbit said that? Get on your bike, go make money. That is a Protestant thing. You should endeavour to, you have to work and you have to be, you know, you have to do your best to, you know, there's no excuse, there's absolutely no excuse for not working. That was one thing we were not allowed to do, is not work. You know, it didn't matter what you did, you had to work. You know, there's none of this benefit shit. No fucking way. There's no way they would have had that in the family. But I mean, obviously things have changed now, but that was an absolute no-no. You actually had to work. And so what he said, so what I said to him, I just thought it'd be kind. I respect everyone's religious choice. Some have faith, some don't. But really, I'm just being light on him. But really, you cannot say that religion does not have faith, because then that means it's fake. You have to say it has faith, and you believe in God, and you believe in the Bible. I haven't even read the Bible, so I don't even know that much about it. Yes, community spirit seems great and filling. Everyone has problems, challenges with an ever-changing world around us. That's why family is so vitally important. Thanks for watching the video. So it was a good thing that you watched the video, right? So, yeah, tricky subjects. I actually do worry that I'll end up getting myself into trouble talking about things. But I suppose that's really part of the... Let's have a look in here. Oh, there's nothing. Oh well, that was good. So, so it was good that we got a comment about that video and that it wasn't just forgotten about forever, you know. I've done videos. I mean, what I'm really doing when I'm looking at these villages, Plain, Cowie,
interesting. What is it? Why is it?
What's the other one? Plain, Cowie, Fallin.
We're a different demographic down here. I mean, it's like...
these are mining villages.
So somehow I managed to be lucky enough to I mean, it doesn't mean that I've got a better. It could be a good life living here. I really think that having a good family and everything.
I mean, I had relatives lived in the Raploch, and that was before I was born. So no, it wasn't. No, they were still there. They came and visited us and everything. They were sort of hard working people, and they had like their house was like, as I remember them, and I imagine where they lived. Their house was perfect and everything, and they lived a good life. You know, they had everything they needed and lived that way. And yet there was people in the Ratlock who didn't live like that. I remember my dad explaining that, how you'd have perfect gardens and perfect this, perfect that, and then you'd have total tips in between it all. And that's just the way it was. Well, I suppose you're always going to get, even like in better off areas, you're going to get people that just can't control or keep their place in order, you know.
And being
but
one way yourself
generally
is the best way to be, you know. So having like money and everything and being middle class or upper class is not.
I'm really exploring class here. I mean, Grayson Perry sort of did videos and talks and made books about this, about class.
It doesn't mean you're better than anybody
sort of
else,
looking at it.
But I mean, it can even give you better options having more money. You know, like say, like health.
But there's the other thing about this. What I must say is that if you think that you can just sit back and sit with the same life, everything the way it was, and keep going like that will not happen. Everything changes. You know, so whether you want it to happen or whether you think it's going to happen, you stay somewhere like they are, and everybody knows everybody, and everything's fine, and there's nothing really changes much. That will change, and the system is out to get you as well as the other thing. For example, you would be living there, and they're going to wait to put a massive toxic battery up the hill. Say for example, well they are doing that actually near Cowie. Or say they come along and put wind farms up outside Fallin. You know, so you're sitting there in your village with all you know everybody, you're at the top of that hierarchy in that village, maybe, right? Or you think you are, and everything's fine. The world is out there to get you, and it is going to get you, and they don't care about you. The corporations don't care about you. They don't care about you, absolutely do not care about you. And it's quite miserable, the message that's coming from me, but it's a realistic one.
You know, so it's better to be better off, but you lose.
I mean, the council have shown that they are corrupt. They'll come and cut these trees down if they want to. They'll knock these houses down if they want to. They'll blow up that roundabout if they want to. They have proved, Stirling Council has proved that they are corrupt and incompetent as well. You know that these people do not have your best interests at heart. You know, so that's the truth and the reality to it. You know, and the councillors and everything like that will work for you. The further up the structure you go, the probably less interest they have in your needs, and they'll lie and cheat about what they're going to do for you.
Because you might not be allowed back, or you wouldn't.
So that is the danger of being complacent is really what I'm talking about. And like I say, I've screwed my life up. I've fucked it right up, but I am where I am. I've just got to live with that. But you know, say they'll come along, knock something down, so you cannot get complacent wherever you live. You know, and they are out there to get you. The system's out to get you. So that they'll come and they'll bulldoze your village. That's what they'll do. I'm talking extreme scenarios here. Look at the Christie clock in Stirling. Beautiful clock. They were a bit worried that it was needing renovation. They fucking knocked it down. They came along and knocked it down. The whole scenario around that was a bit odd. It's like, did they know that they were going to knock it down, Or they thought they were going to renovate it, then they thought, fuck it, we'll just knock it down. They knocked it down. Now then they lied about it, and they're still lying about it, and they're kicking the can down the road. They're never going to fix that clock. Never. So they can do what they like. So they'll also do what they like in Fallin, and they'll do what they like anywhere. I'm talking about the powers that be. So waking up, you know, and it's like education, I suppose. I don't want to be disrespectful to people, but you have to get up there and fight, and it's so hard. Somebody did a table the other day about the cost of living. You know, how much it costs to buy or rent one of these houses there that we're looking at right now. Well, they didn't do it on that place, but it was somewhere else. It's very difficult for young people, young couples to get. The only chance anybody's got is if they've got wealthy parents.
I don't know what happens here. Is it a dead end?
The whole thing sort of went slipping away out of people's hands.
When we go back, you can't really see anything there. I was hoping we'd see over into a field, but maybe not.
But you really have to start at the bottom and work your way up. And there's a lot of people who don't have a chance because they can't even get on the ladder.
It's quite a nice bit here.
And you know, so these houses there.
So what is it?
You know, that's sort of upwardly mobile people who are going to climb up that structure and survive, and the other lot are just going to get left behind. So does that make any sense? No, it doesn't. I'm talking complete shit. Right, so should never try and explain that. That is really bad. Don't ever try and do that again. Right. The other thing that worried me last night was I did a video. I better quickly get out. I'm sort of need to end this. But there was one of the shorts I put up, and I didn't even choose the thumbnail, and this computer did. And it's that lady there, and I thought, oh geez, maybe she might not want to be in there. I thought, oh well, will I delete it? She was just walking past when I was filming, and I think, well, some people don't like that. On the other hand, maybe they might. They don't mind being on it, you know. I don't know. It's hard to say, so I'll leave it on. So there's a danger of that sort of thing, that you upset people doing videos. Right. So that's a complete failure to explain anything at all about life in a mining village in Stirlingshire. I mean, that analogy can apply in North England. You know, mainly in Aberdeenshire it was like farming and stuff that people did. But you got pits down here, central Scotland. You get that Ayrshire and everything as well, don't you? Mining. Islands, what was it up there? Probably just farming, cattle, well, whatever it was, I don't know. How did people survive? Fishing. Yeah, a lot of fishing on the coast. So that life is constantly moving, and you can't stand still. If you do, you're doomed, you know. And in that sense, I think that's what I see when I see Fallin. I see somewhere that's, for a certain extent, it's been abused by the Stirling Council. Because we all get abused by Stirling Council. It's actually worse in Cowie. If you go to Cowie, you can see the abuse there, by the council, of the people that live there. So the council and all these bodies, they're not set up to help us. They're set up to make our lives difficult, and that's what they do. And that includes restrictions, slowing us down, restricting us. And that was where the 15-minute city thing is the extreme end of that. And you can't say that that's not a possibility, because they've got plans for that. It can all be found by looking it up. So you imagine Fallin or Cowie as a 15-minute city. You're not allowed to leave Cowie. You're not allowed to leave Fallin. I'm not being paranoid. I'm saying the truth of what is on the cards. But obviously, you could say, well, that's not going to happen. Well, I hope it doesn't, and it probably won't happen, but it's possible, and that's what some people have plans for us. This control that they want, and that there has been plans set out for that, and you've got to watch, and you've always got to pay attention to what we class as conspiracy theories. they are actually real possibilities. They're not theories. Well, they are theories, but they're actually written down. Somebody's wrote that up. You know, and is that the plan for us? So you really always have to look at the worst case scenario. And if anybody's, please go and watch Robert Sproul. He explains stuff. Right, thanks for watching. Bye! Sorry if I offended anyone, and I respect your religious choices. Bye! Whichever one it is.